Hi, Agata this. I've got a new phone recently. It's an obscure Android from a Chinese company.
IIIF150 Raptor 5G.
And that's what it's called. I haven't touched Androids in a while, so of course I wanted to take a deeper look before fully committing. The end goal being rooting and degoogling it as much as possible. And this phone has some interesting features. But apparently, in order to get to those features, you have to first accept Google's terms of spying. Since it's relatively new and pretty niche, there are no ROMs for it. At least not at the time of the recording. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just connect to ADB and do all our degoogling from there? With a few commands, you can even skip this initial phone setup screen. But apparently we can't. Or can we? Of course we can accept with our fingers crossed and just ignore everything. But the developers of this beautiful phone, which one can read as MFISO, they provide a Google Drive with firmware, software, and everything else you need. We have the boot image which we can patch when the time comes, but even more interesting than that, we've got a boot debug image. And if we're going to flash that, we get access to some very interesting debug features. Let me just connect the phone and do that. On this MTK you have to press the volume down when connecting the USB. And because I pressed download before that, it uploads right away. This error doesn't affect us. I think it happens because it was expecting the normal boot image. And now we'll have to stare at the logo for a bit. Look how weird it is. I think there are at least 10 ways to read it in different manner. Okay, it's ready. Just let me connect it and we'll see what kind of power developers left us. Now look carefully. We're still on the welcome screen, but it's already an ADB device. We can get into shell, and even more than that, we can go ADB root and then drop into shell and we'll be root. Yay, that's it, we won. We can do anything now. And what I'm going to do is run some commands that I've prepared in advance to skip the initial setup. Ta-da! That's it. Now we've got access to the whole system. We can go and change settings to whatever. We can go and delete YouTube. Just go into app settings, disable it, and it's hidden. We can do the same for YouTube music, but that's pretty normal. I mean, this is done without ADB. But we can also do it for phone calls. It doesn't give us the option to disable it from here, but with the power of ADB. Okay, let me just try and remember what I'm supposed to type here. I mean, I've looked it up before. It's probably pm uninstall -user 0 com Google Android dialer. Yeah, that's right. And poof, it's gone. A system app. Goodbye. Good riddance. And maybe I can do the same with messages. Messenger. No. Okay, there's actually a better way to do it without guesswork. just go and download Universal Android Debloater-NG. It's open source, it's out there on GitHub, and you can check everything we have disabled so far. We can go into and see other filters like recommended, and when we click on things, we get a description of what they do and how safe it is to remove them, which is especially important with expert and unsafe. Some things you cannot fix if you don't have root, so removing Chromium would disable the web view, for example, but if you have root, you can set up another thing instead so that the web view works and isn't broken. One more fun thing to do is to disable Google mobile services altogether. So that's the main Google thing that runs on your phone, and all the apps, all Google's apps and many other apps, they use the APIs provided to do their thing. And let me just reboot it real quick. You'll see just how many apps are dependent on it. It will be very obvious. It's this logo again. I think it reminds me of Manjaro. Yeah. Oh, and here we go. This is all Google's notification that without GMS nothing is going to work. Please enable it. This is Google squirming and squealing, begging you to turn it on. But we're not going to do that, not even if it begs. Honestly, all these annoying pop-ups can make the cleanup a bit easier. Because, you know, when they stop, you can be sure that you did a thorough job. And you can go as far as you like. I'll probably end up killing Google entirely, along with the Play Store. There are better ways to get apps out there. And I think I'll install Apatch. That's based on kernel Su, which is an alternative to Magisk, but kernel Su doesn't work on older kernels, and Apatch works on the kernel on this phone. It's nice to be feeling like you're in control. Oh yeah, and also a warning. This ADB and instant root, it leaves your phone extremely exposed to anyone with a USB cable. They can go and search everything, get everything, so I think it's best to patch the original boot image and flash it right away. Do not go outside the house with your phone unlocked, especially if it's like what you use daily. That's a bad idea and inviting trouble. But for now, I think I'm done here. I'm going to take a better look at everything that I can delete safely, and I'll give it a go. If you want to explore further, good luck and have fun. I know there's also mtkclient which can be used for flashing, but for some reason it didn't work for me. Okay, that's it. See ya later.